My name's Mackenzie, and I started a GoFundMe for the adoptive mother of a nonverbal autistic child. The mother had lost her job because she wasn't able to find adequate care for this autistic child. So she really needed some help with living expenses, paying some back bills. So I launched a GoFundMe to help support them during this crisis. And we raised about $10,000 within just a couple of months. I think that the surprising thing was by telling a clear story and just really being very clear about what we needed, we had some really generous donations from people who were really moved by the situation that this family was struggling with.
GoFundMe is the world's #1 fundraising platform trusted by over 200 million people. Start your GoFundMe today at GoFundMe.com. That's GoFundMe.com. GoFundMe.com. This podcast is supported by GoFundMe.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Ray! Do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock! Ray! Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks! Yeah, do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock!
Everybody's doing it. Hello, friends. Welcome to the show. I am Chris of the Chris Things Art. This is Wrestling Art with Chris Things, and I am I'm stoked to be back. I'm stoked to be talking a little bit of match of the week goodness. Yes, this is the match of the week edition of the show, where we're this week talking two absolutely delightful matches that were part of my Match of the Week illustration series. Two bloody fine matches. We have just the most crazy contrast in the history of the world with Roosh versus LA Park in a indie lucha-extrema, just tremendously violent showcase. And then we have one of the greatest professional wrestling matches that you ever will see, between Hiroshi Tanahashi and Shinsuke Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom 2014, I believe. Quite a contrasting little pack here, and we'll be having my dear pal David, my mate who's currently living in the UK, on the show in a little bit to talk all about these bloody fine matches. But in the meantime, we have our little what's happening in the world of Chris Things introduction monologue. It's a funny thing, and now doing this as like a bi-weekly podcast, because when I get to sort of catch you guys up on what's happening, it feels like I have more things to discuss. Funnily enough, but yeah, whatever. But this week has been a fun one. I just last week got finished up on a really fun commission project, sort of like a really multifaceted, multi-part one. So it really felt good to sort of get it done, get it out there. And I very much hope the person I did it for was stoked on it. But I was pretty happy with the work as well. But I'm excited to share the things with you guys in the near future once they're ready to be shared. I also just finished a pet portrait commission that I got. There's this beautiful little recently departed cat called Lava. This just made me so happy to get to do. It's funny, like obviously a lot of stuff that I do is of the wrestling art variety, but I also really really love animals. Probably like the things that are most dear to my heart in this world are animals and animal welfare and that kind of thing. So I really love getting to and I love my dogs as well, like so much. So I know how meaningful animals can be to your life. So getting to do that for someone, getting to memorialize their pet, and it's funny to even say pet. In a lot of ways, it kind of feels like these animals are our best friends. But getting to do this feels like just such a real treat, and I get such a kick out of trying to capture that little dude's likeness as best I can. So that's a really fun thing that I get to do. So hopefully I get to do more of that in the near future. But that's been something I've very much enjoyed. Just finished that one up as well. And then the other thing I've been having all the lead up to this Sunday night's CULT-LUCHA evening that I'm doing. This will be our third one we've done so far. Our Mexican wrestling monster movie madness screening nights at Netherworld, a great little bar in Fortitude Valley up here in Brisbane. I'm doing it with my partner in crime, Trash Videos Andrew Leovold, who I had previously had as a guest on this show for the big 100th episode. If you haven't heard that, listen to that. A lot of weird passions exchanged during that one. But as here we are, the rain is setting in. You get to hear the beautiful sounds of rain on a tin roof here for the remainder of this intro monologue. But I'm so stoked for this night coming up this Sunday night. It's all kicking off at 7 o'clock. It's a free evening if you'd like to come along. And we are going to be watching one of the all-time great Lucha Libre films. We're watching El Santo versus the Martian Invasion. Yes, just absolutely mandatory viewing, I think, for everyone out there. Very excited we're getting to watch this. And I'm also, I've gathered together some different bits and pieces of interesting Martian-related retro little video goodness that I thought we could watch on the evening as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm still stoked that we get to do this thing. And yeah, so far it's been seemed pretty well a full old packed house hanging from the rafters. Complete no vacancy, but so let's hope we could continue that on. But yeah, man, I really love getting to do it. I love getting to make the posters for it. I think since the last episode I had the poster go up, which you can check out on my Instagram at Chris Things. So really capturing that sort of like retro B-grade sci-fi vibes with the Martians and the UFOs and we even got Santo and his spiffy little roadster in there. I had a lot of fun making that one, so hopefully people get a kick out of it. But yeah, man, very excited for this Sunday night. And then the other thing, as I mentioned on our last podcast, we have our next wrestling club coming up here. So that's going to be the following Sunday, the 29th, I believe, back at the Scratch, the 17th of our wrestling club events. It's been a hot minute since we did our last one. This will be officially the first one of the new year. And I'm just, man, this rain's really coming down. I'm just stoked, to do this. It's a lot of work, putting this playlist together and everything. But it's something I really love, getting to watch wrestling together with people, getting to pick out some interesting deep cuts and expose people to something they might not have gotten to see before. This eclectic wrestling wonder. I love it. So I mean, our last couple, as I think I mentioned on the podcast, might have, as it was getting towards the end of the year, been a little more on the quiet side. So I don't know. We'll see how we go. I'm not sure whether this is going to be a thing that is around forever. But, I hope to keep doing it for as long as I can. But I guess the main thing I'm trying to say is if you guys, especially to all my Brisbane pals out there, if you want to continue for this kind of stuff to happen, please come along. Because that is what will make it continue to happen. But yeah, it's all going to be going down on the Sunday night at the Scratch Bar in Milton on Park Road, Sunday the 29th. Again, free evening, and I will have my art on hand at both of these events. So if anyone wants to peruse through my art prints, get yourself a t-shirt, a calendar, you can do that. You can also do that by going to christhings.com.au, which is my website. As a place you can have a look at all of the different bits and bobs of my art. You can read my little captions for them, and you can procure them if you would like. So yeah, however we do this, whatever works for you guys. But yeah, I am just so grateful. That people do support these things. It makes me very happy when I see those little orders come through, and it's a sign that you put these passions out there, and ultimately it gets picked up by someone else who's like, heck yeah, I love that thing. So anyway, I think it's time that we finish off this introductory rant. And I hope to see as many people as we can at these events. But for everyone else, let's get all ready for some match of the week goodness. Let's go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another tasty little match of the week, doubleheader edition of the podcast here. And today I am being joined by my dear pal from across the, I don't even know what ocean that is.
I think people just say across
Atlantic?
the pond.
Whatever.
But I think there's a couple in there. I think there's a Mediterranean as the bird flies.
The Red Sea? Do we have the Red Sea between us?
Yeah, if you deviate, I think. If you depends. Yeah, it depends where the layover is.
But welcome to the show, David.
Thanks, man.
Good to have you back on the show, my dude.
Thanks, brother. It's good to be back.
Feels way too long.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, actually, I think. It's been a busy life, this life, Chris.
Oh, it is. It certainly is. I feel like it's just so hard to line up the Australian time zone with the UK time zone. Like, it just makes it's one of the more problematic conversions, I would say, even more so than the Australia to America one.
I think it's because of like the daylight savings thing that we do as well. So it changes every 6 months. It's like swings an hour either way. So like you finally get used to it, and it's just like, oh no, I'm an hour late again. But that's all right.
Yeah, we make it work.
Yeah, that's it.
But we have two very special matches to talk about today, both of which I have some connection with you on. And, we were just laughing like before we started recording. One of these matches is just a beautiful monstrosity. And I was like, of all of my friends that'll appreciate the pure guttural madness of this ridiculous match, I thought it'd be you, that being Roosh versus LA Park.
Yeah, I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it was just like, these guys, like, the luchadors, and they're just like, you know what, fuck it, let's beat the hell out of each other. We need Lucha Libre where we can just like, we've got, cartons of beer we can throw at each other.
Oh my gosh. So great. So our official thing here, we've got matches of the week 118 and 119 to discuss here. So as we said, LA Park versus Roosh for 118, and then 119 we have one of the tremendous matches of the beautiful rivalry, multi-year rivalry that is Tanahashi versus Nakamura. My official favorite rivalry of I'd say both men's careers, to be honest. But before we get into the nitty gritty of each of these matches, how was this as a combo for you to watch? Did you just watch them one after the other?
Yeah, it was jarring. Yeah, it was just like, so we watched, first match I watched is the first one that sent through, so I was just like, right, I'll get the I watched the LA Park and Rush match. I was just like, oh, there's some lucha, I'll put that on. It was later at night, and it was we can throw it up on the TV. My partner is Spanish, so she obviously she can help translate.
Oh, you put Sandra through this match as well. Yeah, tremendous.
Yeah, she watched it. She was busy marking exams, and then she's just like, "Oh, you know what? I'll take a bit of time off. I'll watch a bit of this lucha libre." Yeah, it was a bit jarring, and then the next one we couldn't. My phone didn't allow it to like put it onto the TV, so we had to like huddle around the phone to watch it. And she was like, "This is
the beautiful daily motion."
Yeah, but my brain didn't tick over to the fact that they were speaking two different languages. So I looked at her at one point and I was like, while we were watching the Shinsuke Nakamura against Tanahashi match, I was like, what are they saying? She's just like, I speak Spanish, not Japanese. I was like, oh. Oh, yeah.
So good.
It was late at night. I was quite fatigued. I was like, oh, they're speaking funny words. What are they saying, Sandra? She's like, wrong language, mate.
Love that.
Yeah. It was watching the two matches back to back. It's not recommended.
I mean, it's one of those great ones where it's like total contrast. And I always do say, I think I've agreed with a few different people on this show that like you do lucha first, then Japanese wrestling. You can't really do it the other way around. But I mean, for the standards of lucha, this is like about as violent lucha-extrema as like you can get, this side of light tubes and shit, I guess. But two slightly different matches. One slightly more highbrow, one more lowbrow, I would say.
Oh, your words. Your words. Yeah, great. Like both fun matches though. Both fun matches to watch. Like the LA Park and Roosh. Like I've always loved Roosh as a wrestler. He's just like he's so well rounded. He's so crazy athletic too. And then he's always just like I don't know if it's his hair. Like ever since his hair came out, it's just like whipping his hair around and all that kind of stuff. But he's got so much character as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is interesting as well because like both matches are like iconic rivalries of the respective wrestlers. So like I said, I reckon Tanahashi Shinsuke has got to be like the career-defining rivalry of both of those dudes. And then you could say the same thing about LA Park and Roosh. Like, there's been a whole bunch of different amazing LA Park and Roosh matches over the years. To where it was honestly like quite difficult to pick which one I was going to do for this match of the week. I ended up watching pretty well like all of them, or at least all of them up until this point when this one chronologically happened. Like kind of doing a rewatch because I really had such like fond memories of their matches from back in the day. And for whatever reason, I think the pure recklessness of this one is really what put it over the top to me. But I mean, both matches we're talking about, I think, are defining matches of all the dudes involved in terms of like being an iconic multi-year rivalry.
Yeah. The LA Park Roosh match, I think, like from the get go, like straight up, like the entrances happen, and they're straight into it. Like you can already tell there's the rivalry thing there. They don't wait to get into the ring. They don't wait to be announced. They're just like they're at it on the gangway. Like as soon as Rouge lands, they just go straight for each other.
And why would you expect otherwise, really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Like they're a couple of angry boys.
Official business of the match for the deets here for our listeners. This one took place. It was officially the first match of the week that I did of 2026. So we've officially made it into the new year. And this one took place on March 11th, 2017. Was an indie lucha event, promotion called Barakal Entertainment, which I have no idea whether it still exists or not. And this one took place at Gimnasio Olímpico Juan de la Barrera in Mexico City. So it had some previous matches to this, had a really iconic one in Arena Mexico in CMLL. One prior to that in Liga Elite, which was a kind of like a sister promotion to CMLL during that time, one of the few promotions that was actually allowed to run in Arena Mexico, funnily enough. But of all of them, this was the one that really stood out to me of that like proper level of reckless violence that very much appeals to me.
Mm. Yeah. The like getting straight into it, like is one of my favorite things. Like no waiting for the entrances that kind of finished. Like you go to a wrestling show, everyone gets their entrances, everyone gets into the ring, everyone gets announced. It's really fun when like if you keep up to date with any kind of feuds, you know what's going to happen. You know these guys are like they're chomping at the bit just to get to each other. So when it actually comes to the match and the people are kept up, they're like rewarded for just watching it just go like straight into it. They're just like, oh, this is great. We got more minutes in a match. We get more minutes of this feud. We don't have to wait for them. We don't have to wait for the music to finish. Don't have to wait for any of this. Just straight into the violence.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's what this match delivers to us on.
It's kind of like Gonzo porn, just like, let's just fucking get going. No storyline here. No foreplay.
No. I don't know if I enjoy that, but got to be gentle, Chris. You got to be gentle. No, we're doing this.
I mean, time and place. There's some time when it's like you want a nice slow romance, and other times where it's just like, you know what, let's go.
Yeah, you know what, mate? There's going to be blood. This one's going to be a bleeder.
Oh my gosh. Hopefully not involving broken beer bottles.
Mate, we draw our own lines here. We draw our own lines in the thing. That's good for what's not good for you is good for me. But anyway, yeah, straight into it. So like, obviously, Rouge, massive head of hair, LA Park, amazing mask. As you look throughout the audience in the arena, see a lot of people wearing like LA Park's masks. So obviously, like, you see them. They're obviously on LA Park's side, and then so when they
I did see a few El Toro Blanco masks as well, with the horns too. So he seemed to have his supporters as well. But I'd say you're right, kind of partisan LA Park crowd as it should be.
I'd say there was a bit more. I'd say the LA Park people get a bit more animated just because of the as we go through the match. So there's a really, really violent opening. We just see like a bit of beatdowns, and then we see.
You get the impression that this has had like some, they have an existing grudge already. They're not just ready to beat the living life out of one another without needing any introduction.
No, they just go straight into it, mate. Like Rouge just gets on top straight away. There's a couple of strikes exchanged, but then Rouge just gets straight on top and then throws him straight into a post. And what seems like he ran pretty heavily into, he threw him pretty heavily into. But yeah, we're straight in the ring, straight into a beatdown. And then I think maybe it's only like maybe 2 or 3 minutes into the match. Probably even less. Rouge just goes straight for the mask tear. and then just rips the mask off him. And it's great. Like, I think the rest of the match is like actually quite cool with the tiny amount of mask that's remaining.
Classic LA Park brawl there. I'll never get sick of it when it's like LA Park will get the mask torn. Generally, he's just like pissing blood, and just like holding on like a semblance of the mask in his mouth. But everyone just agrees, like, it still counts. He's still a masked luchador.
I think it works because like he's got the crimson mask going at the same time that he's got, like, the other mask off. So like, if you want to get technical, he's never got his face like exposed. It's always a little bit, yeah. But it also like adds to the match. It's the
dude, like, one of the all-time cool visuals in lucha is like torn mask, blood. Like, just that's one of those iconic like lucha visuals that I love so much.
Yeah. Oh, it just works so great. It's like, you know, you see like a clean demasking or whatever, and it's just like, oh, that's the guy's face. Whereas when you've got like the torn mask, you can just see a bit of their face. You can see the blood coming out through like whatever's exposed, and it's still like there's still that element of mystery there. I think it's really cool visual as well. And then also like Roosh playing into it, playing around with the blood as well.
Oh yeah, such a gross,
just
fuck.
Amazing.
Is this the one where there's a point where he like gets the blood and like licks it off of his hand, or is that a different match? Yeah.
No, he does that in this one. I think he's done it in a couple. I think he does it in one after this as well. But yeah, just like Brad gives LA Park like a couple of strikes and then licks the blood off his fingers and knuckles.
I remember that one just because that was one of the moments I was considering for the illustration in question. And then, you know, we got the moment later on that ended up being the big one where they're just sprawled out on the floor on the outside that officially won it over for me. But I was right there, had a bunch of screenshots of the bit with Roosh licking the blood off of his fingers. Just such a badass visual. But the early parts, like, because it's been a little minute now since I watched it initially. But you're bringing it all back to me with your running breakdowns here. But I do remember like a good portion of this match felt like Roosh just like beating down LA Park for ages, and LA Park's selling was actually pretty darn awesome. And then, oh my gosh, does it get turned around, and then LA Park just beats the living shit out of Roosh in the best way possible.
Well, it almost follows like a reverse of the opening, where instead of Roosh being on top, LA Park's on top. And he just like it goes to the outside. There's strikes on the outside, and then he runs him into a post. Like, and that's where the big turnaround is. That's when LA Park's like really back on top. And then just starts like running over him. At one point, there's a LA Park walks off. So back through the crowd to where
like, where is he gone? What is happening here?
So originally had taken him that way to like beat him up to the crowd, hit him with chairs, throw him into a bin, throw a bin at him. So like that happened earlier in the match, and then LA Park takes him down the exact same little kind of gangway thing between the audience members, and then leaves Roosh at the ringside there, but he walks all the way back because I think while he was being beaten up, he saw a box of empty beers. And he goes, you know what, I'm going to go back for those. I'll be back for those later. So he walks all the way through, and everyone's like, where the fuck's he gone? Comes all the way back and just throws like a box full of empty beers at him. He's just like, half of them fly out the back before he's even thrown it.
I mean, there's like broken glass and bottles just likely flying into the crowd, you know, like just so quintessentially lucha. I love it.
It was so funny because when he lifted it above his head, so he didn't raise the box carefully above his head in order to throw it. He like lifted it really quickly above his head and then threw it. But when he lifted it really quickly, when you lift an open box really fast, the contents usually go flying out. So like half the beer bottles went out the back and like shattered behind him, and then he threw the box like straight at Rouge. But yeah, it was pretty good. And then obviously like LA Park goes a little bit further, picks up like one of the unbroken beer bottles, shatters it, and then goes back to like carve out a piece of land on Rush's face.
So great.
The shattered beer bottle. But yeah, they both get opened up.
I mean, that was one of the other moments that I was almost going to do for the illustration, but I ended up doing the one of him actually throwing the box of beer bottles for my piece that I did for Porto Veritas's 200% Mexa art exhibition, where I kind of like transposed it to be LA Park throwing the box of beer bottles at like an ice agent. So it's sort of like a nod to this match as well. But that was like one of the moments from this match. But then I was like, all right, well, for the moment of the match of the week, I'll have to do like a different illustration. But yeah, for sure. I think that's the most iconic part of this match, I'd say. Like just him throwing this box of beer bottles. It just feels so reckless. Like we got broken glass everywhere. It's just one of those amazing things that you would not see anywhere else, but in the world of Lucha Libre.
Just like the renegade aspect of it. Just like, you know what? Fuck it, we're going this far. I'm going to get my box of empty beers. Let's just go for it.
And both of these guys are like such rebels in the whole overall wrestling world and lucha world. Both of these guys, since this point, are now banned from Arena Mexico. I would not be surprised if neither are ever welcome back for the remainder of their lifetime. And, for LA Park, it is basically, I think it's been acknowledged that it is for repeatedly brawling into the crowd and endangering fans when he was told not to.
He was asked not to. I reckon him and Stan Hansen have had like a firm handshake over seeing who could take it a bit further with their audience members. Like, if you can't follow Japan's example from like running through a crowd with a bullwhip, scaring everyone, I was like, your fans just aren't fans if they're not ready for that.
I mean, that's what gets you over to me as one of the all-time greats. Just a real great, reckless disregard for fan safety and that of your opponent. And that's what this match is all about. Yeah,
just no respect. Just no respect. Or the respect to disregard. It's both respect each other enough to disregard safety for each other, which I think is really cool.
Tremendous. And then we finish off with I know we're running out a bit of time here, but our the referee was absolutely fantastic as well. This
it was great
quite old-aged referee, and then he gets involved in there, and the finish I just thought was so incredible with the referee kind of like just so great.
Just like gets rolled out of the way at one point and then cops a splash, I'm pretty sure. But and then
it's like he does a face turn, so like I think Rush is like cheating, or I'd have to rewatch it, but there was something where it was like the referee kind of like got his comeuppance there on Rush, which was pretty great.
Yeah. And then so there was a little bit at the end there, and then both of them have their lackeys out. You got like Rush's one of the Ingobernales came out.
Mascara, La Mascara, perhaps.
No mask, unless he's.
Or maybe an unmasked La Mascara.
Yeah, I think it was just an unmasked La Mascara. But just someone in Ingobernales jersey. But yeah, so and then LA Park had his young man come out as well, which is really nice. Back him up.
And of course, we were never going to get a clean finish at this match, but I don't think anyone would have expected such a thing.
It did get really confusing at one stage because both of them do get their hands raised.
Yeah.
So so Rush goes for a cheeky pin where he's ripped his mask off and then goes for a pin but hides it from the ref. And then so Rush gets the win, but then afterwards when the referee looks, he's just like, oh no, the mask is gone, LA Park has won. And I'm just sitting there, I've no idea. Like, I can't understand what's going on. No idea who's won the match. But
one of those wonderful moments of confusion of watching Lucha.
Yeah, I had to take to Google afterwards to just like, right, who actually won this match? But no, I think it was LA Park in the end.
So great.
But yeah, it was a good match. It was a great match.
I highly recommend any of their matches for everybody.
yeah, I enjoyed this match, purely for like the violence side of it. Like they both just go at each other. It's really like, it's really a different thing to see in lucha libre. Like it's good to break it up with this kind of stuff. Like I watch a lot of trios matches and all that kind of stuff where there's quite clean wrestling. And then breaking up like this, it's always a bit of fun.
So there's such great contrast in all different types of lucha, from crazy athletic shit to beautiful Yavea wrestling to just the most crazy lucha-extrema that you ever did see. And yeah, man. Also in this, LA Park has one of the coolest spears I've ever seen in my life. Maybe the coolest.
I think the best thing about the spear is where just like how he lands.
Yeah.
Just cops the spear, Rush cops the spear, jumps backwards, or like is sent backwards, and at LA Park just kind of lands with his face in his dick, and like that's how he goes for the pin.
LA Park also has an absolutely incredible tope in this as well. That is just mind blowing for such a big old boy.
I was going to say Rush is a brave man, stood his ground on that. But yeah, it was actually like, it was so fluid.
Thank you for calling the Bombas Comfort Line. Bombas make socks, slippers, tees, and underwear made with the highest quality materials. Press 1 for comfort, 2 for style, 3 for donation. You chose style. Bombas has styles for whatever you enjoy. You can run in Bombas, lounge in Bombas, dress them up, dress them down, but always give back in Bombas. Because with every item purchased, another is donated. Bombas, comfort worth calling for. Go to bombas.com/audio and use code AUDIO for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com and use code AUDIO.
All right. Now we rush over to the second match of our duo. With our remaining minutes here, we have match of the week number 119. This was the one that I watched. I still couldn't bring myself to watch that Tanahashi retirement match because I was so annoyed that we were at some point looking like we were going to get Shinsuke Nakamura as the final opponent of Hiroshi Tanahashi, and then it was snatched. It was snatched out of our grips after we were teased that it was going to be. And I'm not necessarily the biggest Okada fan, so I still haven't been able to bring myself to watch the official retirement match, though I do plan on watching it at some point. But this is the one that I watched that sort of like, I was in a Tanahashi mood. I wanted to celebrate Tanahashi. And as I mentioned before, Shinsuke, I would say, is definitely my favorite of his opponents. So I found myself going back and watching one of my favorite matches of their rivalry. And I really remember the entrances as well. Both Tanahashi coming out, being played to the ring by the guitar player of Megadeth. And then Shinsuke Nakamura just with one of the most amazing like swag skate entrances ever, complete with like stripper poles. So great. But this match overall, January 4th, 2014, to me one of my favorite matches of their incredible multi-year rivalry. And it was the one that was the official main event of Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, the ones that the fans voted over the Okada IWGP Heavyweight Championship match to be the official main event of the show, which was a bit of a controversial thing at the time. But dude, I love this match so much, and it just brought back all the nostalgia and love that I have for both of these guys.
So like one of the main things I loved about this match was when so Rufio and I flew to Adelaide to go watch a wrestling show down in Adelaide. And while we were on the plane, Rufio had asked me, Rick, now I guess he just wrestles with Ricky, who's one of our good friends. He showed me on the plane. He's just like, "Oh, have you seen this match yet?" I said, "Oh no, I haven't watched it yet." And he goes, "Oh, we should watch it." So the match goes for about 30 minutes. It goes for about 27 minutes or so. And they've told us that they'll be landing in 20 minutes. Everyone put everything away, all that kind of stuff. And Rufio or Rick pulls out his iPad, starts watching it as we've been told to put everything away.
Oh no.
And we start watching these entrances, and as we're watching, like, essentially just women spin around on stripper poles, we've got the stewardess leaning over our shoulder as we're both just, like, glued to the screen. And the only thing she's seen is just, like, the girls spinning around on the poles. And she's like, guys, can you please put the iPad away? We're like, yeah, hold on. We're just watching these girls spin. And then she's just like, guys, it's not appropriate. Can you put it away? We're just like, it's just wrestling. And she's just like, I don't care. Put it away.
Tremendous. It's like that moment of like your mum walking in while you're watching like WWF, and it's like some moment of like, you know, Trish Stratus barking like a dog or something.
Yeah, like Leader and Edge going at it in the bed scene or something. It's like, she's wrestling. But like, I just remember, so like this, I just remember the start of it, and as soon as I clicked the link, and I was just like, oh yeah, I remember the start of this match, and I was thinking about like, like the juxtaposition between Shinsuke's like how they stand, like their stature, their physicality. Like Shinsuke is just like, he's very bendy, he's very loose, he's very shaky. Like as he walks down to the ring, he does like the little. I don't know if he's starting a car or if he's turning the door. And then you know how he does like the little thing with his hands where he like turns the key, opens the door.
It's like that little like Michael Jackson kind of like move.
Yeah, and then starts like shaking his way down the ring. And then you watch like Tanahashi, who's just like the stiffest man on earth. Like I don't think his back bends anymore. I think he's got a hinge at his hip, and then he's got a small little hinge in his neck where he can slightly turn his head. I don't know if his chest muscles are so big they just prevent him from properly being able to turn.
That would make sense. It's a ridiculously sized chest.
It's just huge. It's just all chest. He's just a chest, and then he's 50% chest. But anyway, this match I was just like, it's a great. The reason why I like this, especially over the Tanahashi and Okada match, is they're two completely different people.
Yeah,
it seems like the one's the light side of the dark, one side of light side of wrestling, light side of New Japan. He's like the ace of New Japan. He's the hero of New Japan. The other guy is just like the anti-hero or the dark side of it.
Oh, I always thought the exact same way, like of that rivalry. That's what made it so amazing, because it was like, all right, this is the prototypical like good guy, that all of the ladies like love, and then like the definition of a baby face, right? And then you've got like the complete opposite, like the dark side, version, the kind of more Inokiism, like the sort of like classic early 2000s like days of Inokiism, and he represents all of that well. And that was a big part of their feud, It's like Tanahashi is the modern sort of New Japan guy, the classic sort of like baby face and ace. Whereas like Nakamura more represented that like classic Inoki version of New Japan, and proper strong style and everything. And then Shinsuke would have his kind of evolution, and after come back from Mexico and everything, where it became more of like the swag-ske, kind of cool Shinsuke that we all know and love. And then this match was sort of like Tanahashi. It was really interesting watching some of the pre-match interviews of this, and Tanahashi being like, hey, we've kind of like swapped places. It's like now he's the guy with all the charisma and everything that he used to criticize for me for, kind of deal. And then we did see throughout the match that there was interesting thing that they played off of, some bits of Tanahashi leaning more into that Inokiism kind of like vibe. So I always thought this rivalry was so interesting, because it's sort of a battle of wrestling ideologies, as much as that classic sort of like good versus bad, bright, colorful versus dark, like a lot of interesting stuff going on.
Yeah, they really added everything into it, like from the entrances, all that kind of stuff. Where one is like a celebration of Tanahashi, where he's got an amazing musician coming on. And then the other one was just like people on poles kind of playing into his like bad boy aspect here, and bad boy charisma, and he does whatever the fuck he wants.
And how bloody cool is that music, man? It had been ages since I'd listened to Shinsuke's classic New Japan music.
Yeah, like this is it's one of those things where you just look back and there's a whole nostalgia here when you first heard it. This is one of the coolest things. Like, it's such a charismatic like tune to come out to as well, and it's so like iconically just him, where it just like it hits, he walks out, he does this cool little walk thing, cool swag skate thing, and it's really like that's whenever I think of Shinsuke, that's like what defines him, and like. So in this match, there's so many cool things. Like they all obviously get their stuff, but there's time in between. Like obviously there's fast reversals, there's quick hits, there's quick momentum changes in this match, which is really really cool. But there's also like they take their time in order to like hit their stuff. They take their time in order to like really go through the moments and like express the moments as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like you take like any of their knees, or the when he puts Tanahashi up on the ropes up in the corner there, and then goes for his like running knee to the gut, and he hits it like 3 times in a row, just to like really run it home. It's not just because it's not a normal match to them. You know, this is like a big part of their feud. So like no. I mean,
this was also like a reintroduction of the feud, because it had a few years off. So this was kind of like getting everyone up to speed. And I thought it did such a great job of that, like sort of catching everyone up, referencing a lot of the previous parts of their earlier rivalry, while bringing it forward, making it feel really fresh. Doing that sort of like battle of ideologies kind of thing. And then just some really badass, amazing, dramatic wrestling, and like the strikes towards the end. Dude, this just had everything.
I think one of the best parts about this is like nothing was, because they knew each other from the previous feud, that there was just like nothing got hit clean straight away.
Yeah.
Like nothing was just like, oh yeah, he's gonna go for this and he's gonna get that. Like they were always prepared for each other. You know, like there was some great reversals. There was just like, oh shit, just got to watch out for the dragon, like Tanahashi's dragon screws. Shinsuke is going to go for his like knee to the back of the head, so Tanahashi's constantly like, whenever he's selling, he's quickly turning towards him just to make sure he's not exposed. I think there was just some really good things that, like, if you know both the wrestlers and you know the wrestlers know each other, that you're watching for as like as a witness to it and as an enjoyer of both of them, you're rewarded for just seeing how well they know each other. And then just putting that stuff in a match as well, I think is just like a mark of a really good wrestler. It's just like, don't let things get hit clean, but also wrestlers are going to do like research on each other, you know, just like MMA fighters would. And then so you're just like, right, watch out, he's a really good wrestler. So if they're a good wrestler, you try and keep your distance with strikes, don't overexpose your legs. You know, don't give them something that they automatically want. Like, don't throw your legs at them. They want your legs. Whereas in this match, it's just like, right, don't expose the back of your head. Like, you know, keep it away from Shinsuke. He wants that. And same as Shinsuke, he's not just throwing like wily kicks every so often. He's just making sure he's got Tanahashi in a good position before he throws his foot out. But you know,
like both of them respected their opponent a lot. But the other interesting thing was like so much of the ego and the over the top confidence of Shinsuke. So it was like he respected him, but also at every moment he wanted him to just know that he was like better than him, kind of thing. Yeah. And I guess that ultimately was his undoing, like that overconfidence. I just thought so many levels to this that are so great.
Yeah. But you take like points throughout the match in which it's just like whenever Shinsuke overextended himself and just like he got too charismatic, he got too cocky. You know, like Shinsuke throws it or goes for a knee. Tanahashi catches it and straight into a shin breaker. You know, he goes for like that, is it called a vibrating kick or something?
Oh yeah, the good vibrations one.
Good vibrations, yeah, and like Tanahashi just like doesn't even let him go through with it, just like grabs his heel straight away and then just like goes straight for a dragon screw. You know, like there's so many things in this match where it's just like he's like, right, you're getting too big for your boots. And then Tanahashi's obviously like getting beat down for not most of the match. It's a good exchange. It's a very even exchange actually, but there's like a good bit of the opening where Shinsuke's in control. And every single time he overextends himself, Tanahashi's there to remind him that he's like, you know, there's a reason why he's the ace of New Japan. which I think is really, really cool. And it's also like such a good like representation of both of their characters. Like one's the light side, one wants good, clean wrestling, one wants an amazing, respectful match where it's like the best man wins, and the other one's just like, no, I'm the best, fuck you. And I think it's just like it's portrayed really well. Again, like one of my favorite things about wrestling is when it rewards people who know, but it also rewards people who don't know by having a good match, but having good references.
Yeah, and I think this works great, like, if people want to get into this rivalry, like, you can either go all the way back and watch everyone, which is not a bad thing to do, or if you wanted to jump into more of their contemporary matches, this is a great introduction point, because it sort of catches you up to speed of their dynamic and where they've kind of come from, and then where they're going, and they have some just absolutely incredible matches from this point forward until their final match at the G1 climax in the semi-finals, which is one of my all-time favorite matches as well. But yeah, I really love this rivalry, and I really love this match. So I'm glad for us to be able to talk about it, especially knowing that like you have that same nice nostalgia about it, a lot of this as well.
Yeah, being caught by a stewardess watching
pole dancers.
But yeah, it's like, that's what wrestling is. Wrestling is like it's just a massive burst of nostalgia, and I've definitely spoken to you about it, like especially being over here in the UK. That when you're first making friends, they ask you what you're into. Oh, I like wrestling, and like a lot of the times people go like, is it fake? Is it this? And I'll ask you questions about it, but then eventually that melts off, and they go, oh, I remember watching this guy when I was young. I remember watching, like people who talk about it. One of my friends here is a little bit older. He talks about like Big Van Vader as his favorite wrestler. I was like, wow, that's a really out there choice. And he just tells me about all these matches he watched.
I thought you were going to say like Mick McManus or Jimmy Breaks or Johnny Saint or something.
No, just like he was just like a massive Vader fan.
Sick. Good choice.
Like, yeah, dude. And he's just like, he's got even like memorabilia, and he's got things of like he said he's had in the attic for years, and he just couldn't bear to like get rid of them. He's got a photo with him as well. But it turns into that. It stops being about like what wrestling is, and turns into what wrestling means to people. And then if you've got these like amazing nostalgic moments, like that's at the end of the day, that's what wrestling's for.
Yeah,
it's like take a break from real life.
That was a big part of Tanahashi's send off, as well. It's like so many people where he was the everything that they followed New Japan for. And sort of like him retiring, I wonder if that's the point where a lot of these people are leaving behind New Japan and leaving behind following wrestling. I mean, I hope not, but I mean, it is interesting that like a guy like this can, and Shinsuke as well, for that matter. I was so stoked with how incredible he still is in that amazing match he had with AJ recently. But both of these guys so important, I'd say, to this era of New Japan and of the kind of comeback to the lofty heights that they got to during this time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a great, even by today's standards, like those matches hold up against the bets that people performing now as well, which is like, it's amazing to see two wrestlers push each other and take each other to those kind of heights.
Absolutely.
Response out of the crowd, it's just fantastic. And then also, people following them. If that's the first one they kind of click into, like the fact that's the first match that they see from them, they go like, "Oh wow, this is wrestling." When you get those people that just come over from WWE for the first time, they go like, "Oh, I'm interested in more Jingle wrestling. I'll give this one a go." We put it in front of them, and they see it. It's amazing.
This is a match that just like blows minds, and we're like, "Okay, I think I need to watch more of this New Japan."
Yeah. If that blows your mind, wait until you watch this match. It's Elliott Park versus Root. You'll love it.
Oh, dude. Well, this has been wonderful. I I'm glad we got to talk about it, my man. I know you got to get off to work. Thank you so much for joining us for as long as you had.
Thanks, man. It's always a pleasure. It's always great fun.
Yeah, dog. We'll have to have you back on soon.
Sounds good, brother. Can't wait.
All right. You have a good day, my dude.
You too, mate. You have a good rest of the day. Enjoy the gym.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll be jetting off quickly.
Oh, too easy, mate.
Well, thank you, David, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, there we go. What a lovely little chat. Man, I love Dave. So I wanted to apologize. I listened back to some of the audio of that intro that we had, and that was beyond bad. But not bad enough, I guess, for me to go back and do it again. Oh man, I hope at this point you guys, bear with me through some of these annoying times. But anyway, I thought it was a fun episode. I also forgot that today, as I record this podcast, this is a very special day, guys. I'm not sure if you're aware, but if you look at your Chris Things 2026 Los Luchadores versus Alien Invaders calendar that I'm sure you have up on your wall, you will note that today, March 19th, is the birthday of Super Porky. A very special day in everyone's calendar. I'm not sure how you guys celebrate out there, but I think it's important that we take note, we reflect, but man, I love this nonsense. So yeah, Super Porky, legit one of my favorite luchadors. Brazzo de Plata, just incredibly underrated. It was a real like key fixture, I think, of CMLL when I was like really sort of getting into it and sort of different times, and I've really enjoyed it over the years. Just a great mix of humor and heart, and great comedic timing, great like physical charisma, and also like just an absolutely incredible luchador as well, especially when you go back and you watch some of his younger stuff and part of Los Brazos. But yeah, I bring this up because I did a little Instagram post thing this morning where I spoke a little bit about it, and I shared some of my different like art and illustrations that I'd done of Super Porky over the different years. And it was fun, like, looking back at them now, and it's like some of them, like, I think the first one was, like, back in, like, 2016. So, like, really when I was just sort of, like, starting to just be doing this art practice as a little, passion thing to do on the side from my main job. But just, starting to do it as a concerted effort, I guess. And then fast forwarding and seeing how the things have evolved since then, really cool. And yeah, Super Porky remains to this day one of my favorite luchadors and wrestlers in general to draw and to make art of. Big time muse of mine, I guess. And yeah, I still love his matches. I still love, like, whether it's like you're watching him in Japan for like Hamada's promotion, or the stuff that you'll find of his in CMLL, as we were mentioning, or even like UWA back in the day, El Toreo. Yeah, tremendously underrated, and I hope we have many more Super Porky arts to look forward to in the future. But in the meantime, I hope you can all celebrate Super Porky Day in the best way possible. Oh man, and yeah, I think that's that. I'd like to thank you so much for listening here today, for keeping up with this podcast, for getting us to over 105. We're up to 106 episodes of this nonsense, guys. So if there's anyone out there that's listened to all of them, please send me a message. I would love to hear that. But yeah, regardless, thank you so much, guys. As I say often, whether you support by listening to this show, by liking some of my stuff on Instagram, Chris Things on Instagram, or commenting, or swinging me a nice message every now and then, or even if you're in a position, the great fine people out there that support the Chris Things and keep this train rolling. I really appreciate you all, and I feel very lucky every day to get to do this thing, and I think it's important to not lose sight of that. I would also like to thank the great guys at Social Suplex, socialsuplex.com, the hub of this podcast, the home of this podcast, and home of a variety of other fun wrestling podcasts. Socialsuplex.com is the website, and you can also check out a bunch of their other fun wrestling podcasts, from One Nation Radio to Keeping It Strong Style to All Things Elite, Imp's WWE Adventure, the AEW Match Recommendation Podcast. We've got Trish and Sarah podcast, Tunnel Talk, there's a Joshi podcast, there's all of the things. So give them a gander if you feel like. Thank you, Social Suplex. And yeah, guys, to finish off, I do want to let you know, on from our last episode that we did with Joe, where I was mentioning how I was going to have to do an all-nighter to get that painting done to meet the deadline for the group show, that working title, Batteries Not Included art show. I'm pleased to say that I did indeed get it done. I think I officially got to finish and go to bed at like 3:30 in the morning, so not too bad at all. But we did it. So it was a big week that week, between the being part of that great Batteries Not Included toy themed group art show, as well as the Borolf Film Festival Radioactive Ants art show at Netherworld. So hopefully I'll have more group show participation in the near future, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, I think that's a good amount of time for this podcast. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope if you are into the creative things, you have some fun creative projects that you're working on, and more than anything, enjoy. Bye.
Do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock. Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock. Everybody's doing it. Do the eye gouge. Yeah, do the eye gouge. Do the eye gouge, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the eye gouge. I do the eye gouge. Everybody's doing it. Okay, you turkey necks. Gather around. Let me show you how to do the crusher.
You're a pro at running your life, at committing to your workout, at showing up every day. At Bombas, we're pros too. Pros at making socks. Our sport assortment has specialized socks for whatever sport you're committed to. Running, hiking, golf, Pilates, and so much more. Made with sweat-wicking yarns, blister-fighting details, and targeted arch support. Bombas Sport is pro-level socks from the pros of socks. For another pro, you. Go to bombas.com/audio and use code audio for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com and use code audio.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.